All right, welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the top 5 players at each of the 10 fantasy baseball categories. Tell you whether or not we think it's for real or if it is fool's gold for the rest of the season. We'll be right back.
The Fantasy Six-Pack Hour with your hosts, Joe Vaughn and AJ Applegarth.
All right. Like I said, welcome to the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. My name is Joe Bond, founder of FantasySixPack.net. With me tonight, AJ Applegarth. What's going on, man?
What's up?
What's up? welcome back. And Corey Pieper. What's going on, man?
I'm just admiring AJ. What is that necklace? It looks pretty fresh, dude. Is there a necklace on there? It's just the headphones. I thought it was just like perfectly lined up with Mickey Mouse's face, and I was all just kind of working in tandem. I was very impressed, but
no,
not so much.
Rocking like the 90s style necklace, man. Like,
yeah,
yep.
That's right.
It was funny. All right. So let's get to things tonight. We're gonna jump through. Like I said, we're gonna go, introduce or announce or whatever the top 5 players at the 10 major categories for fantasy baseball. Run through a couple of these. Obviously, Ohtani's and Judges are at the top of a lot of these lists, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on them. But maybe talk about some of these more surprising players. Say whether or not we think it can be sustained, or if it's going to trail off here as we head into the summer months here of the baseball season. But before we do that, I want to remind you to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, the little bell, leave those comments, man. We do love hearing from you. Jump in live if you're here. And then, of course, jump over to FantasySixPack.net. Become an all-access member. We've got our daily starting pitcher tracker, our hitting planner. Just released the weekly pitching planner a couple weeks ago. Finally got that one back out. Obviously, our rest of the season rankings, our dynasty rankings, our prospect rankings, and we got football right around the corner. We are working on getting the all that good stuff out, including our draft cheat sheet here very, very shortly. So that's what we got. Yes. Dave Eddy saying Corey's wife taking up half the screen. not wrong.
I do not want people to have to see my face. I just
the man in the shadows. He's our Batman. All right. So let's jump into here with things. We'll start off here with the top 5 run producers in baseball. Of course, we got Ohtani with 64, Judge 55, Mr. Pete Crow Armstrong, as Corey announced before the show, the unofficial spokesperson or whoever we want to, I don't know, whatever of the Fantasy Six-Pack Hour. We have talked about him, I'm pretty sure, every show. Corbin Carroll sitting here at 47. Ellie De La Cruz tied with him at 47 for 5th overall. Corey, start with you, man. Anybody in here surprising you that you think might not be able to keep it up? Or, I think this list is pretty straightforward. I think Pico obviously was not expected, but now that we've seen it for 2 months, maybe not so much anymore.
He just keeps doing it. He's just confounding baseball player to me at this point, but he keeps getting it done every week. The steals are not slowing at all. The home runs are there. And I guess I'm starting to fall for the pulled air percentage stat on StatCast. I think it is just, you look at the top 10 of it, and it is pretty much a who's who of who's breaking out. Cal Raleigh's on there, Isaac Paredes, Rhys Hoskins, Spencer Torkelson, Alex Bregman, Pete Crow Armstrong. That it looks good. Now there are, Anthony Santander's been awful. Danny Jansen's in the top 10 too. So it's not everybody, but Pete Crow Armstrong, he seems to just have this optimized swing, and he is getting the most out of it. And while I still think I would sell him high if I could get a lot out of him. People I know, if there's talk that he's going to be a first round pick next year, if I could get a Kyle Tucker, Fernando Tatis, who's been kind of cold recently, something like that, I'm still selling. But I'll eat some crow for it. He keeps getting it done this long, and 2020 is all but a lock at this point, and we'll see how far he goes from there. So yeah, Pete Crow Armstrong is the most surprising name on that list to me. Judge and Ohtani are, of course, complete stars.
Yeah. AJ, anything else to add to this runs list? I think, like I said, I think it's pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty standard.
Kind of what you would expect.
I mean, Ellie, you kind of figured that. Same with Corbin Carroll, with their ability to be on base and just steal bags. It's not surprising to see them on here. So, all right, let's jump into the next topic here, and that is our top 5 home run hitters. So we've got obviously Ohtani at 23, Cal Raleigh at 23, Judge again at 21, Schwarbaum Machine at 19, and again Mr. Corbin Carroll sitting at 18. So Joe, we'll start with you. What do you like here? What anybody in particular you surprised about?
Yeah, I think obviously Ohtani and Judge and Schwarber are 3 obvious ones. I think Riley we knew is a power guy. I'm not sure anybody expected it quite like this. I'll leave that one for Corey because I think he seemed to be interested in that one before the show. So I'll take Corbin Carroll. After a abysmal 2024 for him, 18 bombs already for him. That's pretty shocking to me, honestly. I don't know if I really ever took him as somebody who was going to be upwards of, 30, if not 35 bombs in a season if he stays on this pace. That would be a huge boost to his fantasy value. Now, with that comes a decrease in the batting average that we saw in 2023. And he's actually not running quite as much as we thought. Of course, when you hit more home runs, you're not on base as much, right? So there is that. So he is definitely selling out for power a little bit. His strikeout rate is up a lot. Slugging is up a ton, though, like that kind of stuff. He's definitely hitting way more fly balls than he ever has. And I mean, look, it's working. We're seeing the power stroke there. You drafted him for 20 to 25 home runs and probably 40 steals. You might get the opposite at this point, which is weird. So it kind of like in a vacuum, you're looking at it and going like, oh, it's still an awesome player. But like when you build a team around a player, like you drafted him in the first round, right? You build a team around him expecting to get certain stats, and then you get the opposite. It actually does kind of screw you to some degree, unless you found players later who are kind of doing the opposite as well, or you found like values to kind of replace those steals that he's not getting. You're not going to complain about Corbin Carroll, but it is kind of funny how like, because it's happening to me in a couple of leagues where it's like, I drafted a guy and you're like, oh man, he's not really doing what I thought he was going to do. He's not getting me as many steals as I thought he would, or he's not getting me as many home runs. He's doing the opposite, or like his batting average is way higher than I thought it was going to be. He's not a bad player, but it's like I drafted other guys around him to build that perfect team, and now it's like kind of broken because of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, but Carroll, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's, going to keep up, but everything his StatCast page is solid reds across the board as far as like all the batting stats that you want to see for him to keep this power stroke going.
All right, Corey.
I will piggyback on Joe's right. The Schwarber, Judge, and Ohtani ones are not surprising. I'll piggyback quick on Carroll here before talking about Cal Raleigh, and he has just completely switched the way he's approaching it. That 15% launch angle for a guy with 97 for a sprint speed is odd. Like, I don't know if someone told Corbin Carroll, hey, why don't you try to hit more home runs? Because I think you can do it. And it's working. But it's just an odd change for a player who is already very good to just lean into becoming a power bat. But power hitters get paid more, I guess. So good for him.
Barrel percentage was up 10%.
He looks
from his
it's a
league.
completely. He was already a first round pick, but now it is that with that barrel percentage where it's at, he looks a lot more like Kyle Tucker, who is this just top 5 overall player. That is what he looks like more than he was a back end of the first round Julio Rodriguez guy. If he's going to barrel the ball like that, then like you said, 30 homers and maybe he doesn't get to 30 steals, but 20 steals with a plus batting average. That's Kyle Tucker, who's a top 5-6 type of option. So, and then Cal Raleigh, we were talking about him before the show. Big dumper, hit another home run today. He is now solo in the lead. These were before today. He is in the top, and he has been the premier power option at catcher for the last 2-3 years. I think he's been over 30 home runs the last 2 years, but he might hit 30 home runs at the All-Star break. Like, that is what we're talking about here. He is at 25 home runs, and we are at June 5th. And it looks, I don't know if I'm going to sit here and say I think Cal Raleigh's going to hit 55 home runs, but this is what a 55 home run bat looks like. You want to talk about a guy who has already had a pretty good barrel rate, but is just awesome. He has got a 23.5% barrel rate. 1 out of every 4 balls he hit is an optimally launched ball with a 99 percentile. That is the best in the league. A 587 expected slug. That's awesome. He's actually cut his K percentage. Not that it really matters, 27%. He's not going to be a great average, but this could be a 50 home run catcher who has chipped in 6 steals already. I don't know if I believe that, but if you got 50 home runs with 10 stolen bases and his expected batting average is 250, I don't even need him to hit 250. You want to hit 230 like you've done in the past. If you're going to give me 50 home runs, I don't care.
Shut your mouth. I've got him on 2 of my teams.
I bet you those teams are doing pretty solid.
Yes. I'm leading the Fantasy Six-Pack Series in home runs, mostly thanks to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, talk about barrel percentage. He's at 23.5%. He was at 15 last year, and he hit 32 bombs. Like, that's just unreal. He's just destroying the ball.
So, like, over-under, like 45. We're here at 25, June 6th.
Oh, man, 45. I'd have to go under, man.
One and over. It's a good number, right? Like it's
we're not even halfway.
I know.
Yeah.
We're not halfway. Can you get 20? Basically, can you get 21 more the rest of the way? And you know, for a guy who hit 30 the last 2 years, I would say no, but that his Statcast page looks like Aaron Judge's without quite the batting average. That is what the power production looks like. So, and it's a tough place to hit. Seattle's routinely one of the toughest places to hit home runs out of. Doesn't matter when you're hitting the ball like that. You'll hit it out anywhere. So I would say if I had to guess over, but I like AJ, whoever said under, like I completely get that too, because catching stuff, it's tough on the body. He has not gotten hurt, but we'll see. It is right now. You just ride it for every dollar it's worth. And he is the top catcher in fantasy right now. He's passed up William Contreras. I think William Contreras will be better than he is. I still think there's other good catchers out there. It's been a better position this season, but Cal Raleigh, far and away the best option in catching right now, the way he's hitting the ball. I will take the third of the categories here, which is RBIs. And before we talked, before we all started recording, Joe and I were discussing this. The advantage of doing this exercise was just to see who is doing what here, because we have Rafael Devers on the team that we share. I have Rafael Devers otherwise. And I did not realize he was leading the baseball before I did this in RBIs with 54. Seiya Suzuki is second. Well, him and Pete Alonso are tied with 53. So the Cub and the Met. Pete Crow Armstrong, a second Cub, and his second appearance in the top 5 with 51. And the aforementioned Aaron Judge, who is in everything, with 50 RBIs. So when I look at it, Rafael Devers stands out. Seiya Suzuki, like a quiet breakout, because Pete Crow Armstrong gets all the headlines, but Seiya Suzuki has been great this season. Awesome. And Pete Alonso, like it slowed down a little bit, but still doing what he does. Where are you at, AJ? Which one do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Devers here. Sorry to rain on your parade, Joe, if you were going to take him, but
I was.
I mean, the fact that this guy has the league lead in RBIs when he's hitting out of the 2-hole is beyond me. I mean, I just don't understand it. Plus, he started off. I mean, he didn't even have a single hit in March. Granted, that's 5 games. 5 games. But still, everyone was like, what is going on with this guy? He can't get on base. He can't hit the ball. He's just striking out like crazy. The calendar turned to April, and he didn't strike out again for the first 2 games. I guess he did. I was looking at the wrong category, but he dropped.
No, he was still bad in April.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 19 home RBI between March and April combined.
Yeah,
41 in May. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. He had 33 in May.
My thing says 41 in May.
Okay,
I have him for.
I'll believe Fangraphs.
33 in May. Are you sure he didn't have 41 through the end of May?
I don't think so.
I think he said 30. He had 41 between March, April, and May. He had 33 alone in May.
This isn't usually an accumulator. This is.
Well, I'm telling you right now, it's accumulating for you.
I don't know. Either way, yeah. Well,
I can do math.
Still not right because
it says June. He's got 2.
Yeah, he's got 2 in June.
Yep.
33 in May, 18 in April, and 1 in March.
Yep.
Either way, it all works out to be 54 in the league lead. So, math aside, he's just killing it here. I just don't understand. I mean, Boston in general was really surprising to me earlier on in the season. They've kind of cooled down a little bit. But I mean, it just seemed like every game they were getting on base, they were getting runs, and they were playing really good baseball. But yeah, I mean, Devers is just shocking to me.
I remember when Joe and I were in the Earth draft that we did, and we like almost accidentally took him timed out in the 3rd round, and we're hating it for like the first couple weeks, and
yeah,
here we go. Maybe we were wrong.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Joe, you got a comment on Devers? You want to take someone else?
No, I mean, he pretty much said it. I mean, a complete turnaround. I don't really know. I don't know. Maybe the shoulder's got to be feeling a lot better. Maybe he's just. I don't think the Red Sox are getting rid of him, especially if he plays like this. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking here, but yeah. I mean, there's really no. I mean, Suzuki, you kind of said it, Corey, in the kind of going over it. Like he's having a quiet breakout. With him, the problem is he going to stay healthy? That's always been kind of a thing for him. So he's just got to stay on the field. That offense is really, really good though. So do I believe 53 home run RBI at this pace right now? Maybe not the rest of the year, but he's gonna be up there. You're not gonna be sad having him on your team the rest of the way for sure. And he's got 14 bombs too. Like you'll take that. That's already two-thirds of the way to his career high in the majors. So you're definitely taking that.
I think the only other shocking thing here is the fact that there is 2 Cubs on this list. I mean, like Joe
that's just how good they are. That's what we're talking about.
This is a good offense this year, and it's fun to see.
The Cubs
Gunner got the Gunner jersey on too, man. Way to say it, Uncle Ted. Love it.
The Cubs with the 2nd most runs scored in the league behind only the Dodgers. And the Dodgers, I believe, have played 1 more game. So, yeah, it's a really good offense. Good to see a couple of them on there. Seiya Suzuki, I actually was hoping for a few more steals. I think he had 15-ish last year, and I think he might have 1 this season. But kind of like what Joe was saying, you take the production where you get it, but sometimes you bank in a little bit more when you're setting your guidelines at the beginning of the year. So we'll see if we get a few more steals out of him too here. But
yeah.
Good players.
Yeah. So let's jump over here to stolen bases. There are a couple names on this list that I think are very interesting. O'Neal Cruz at the top with 22. Picor Armstrong with 21. I don't think anybody's surprised to see him at the top of the stolen base list. I think that's what we all thought we would get from him, and that's probably pretty much it. Luis Robert, whatever you want to say, 21. Bobby Witt Jr., the only category he's in the top 5. That's actually pretty shocking at 20. And then Ellie De La Cruz sitting at 20 also. Corey, this you this time? Yeah, Corey. Who do you want to talk about?
I'll talk about Luis Robert. We did the buy low show a few weeks ago, and I had Luis Robert as my outfielder, and it's not gotten a whole lot better, and he's missed the last 3 games with an injury here. But I'm still buying low on Luis Robert, and this is why. Yes, he's batting 177, which is got to be among the worst qualified in all of baseball at this point. But the expected batting average is 230. I would take that. He's already at 21 steals. The career high we've seen on before is 23. Assuming he doesn't get hurt, I think 40 is well within the realms of possibility in there. And I still think he's going to end up a member of the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Blue Jays, something like that before the end of the month or so here. And so I'm still in on Luis Robert. You're getting the steals already. If you start getting the other stuff, it just becomes a bonus. And so I'm still in on Luis Robert, but the batting average sucks. The steals are repeatable.
I'm kind of surprised the power is not there more for him. He's only got 5 home runs so far, and I know maybe he's not.
He's got a 9-12%
maybe just he's not
right?
contacting the ball enough, but it's something's off with his swing. But it's just like he's just getting on base, and he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna run. So.
Yeah. I do not want to see him in Philly pinstripes. I've never been a big fan of his. He's got so much hype behind him, and he never lives up to it because he's always injured. So Dombrowski goes somewhere else, anywhere else at this point, because the team is struggling.
Yeah.
But
Uncle Ted here saying he can't hit right-handed pitching. He is batting a cool 149 against right-handers. He is hitting 273 against lefties. Might be something to that. That's bad.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to talk about Cruz. I mean, Ellie, he's going to be here. He had 67 last year. Him being in the top 5 is not a surprise to me at all. O'Neal Cruz, though, has already matched his total from last year at 22 steals. I mean, that's awesome to me. And just that he's like a third of the way, through the season or through the amount of games. His 22 was only in 146 games last year too. His OBP was 324 last year, and it's at 353 this year. So obviously he's getting more opportunity by being on base more. That's not surprising either, but I think he could easily crack into at least into the mid 50 range. That would surprise me to see. 60 might be a stretch, but
yeah, that'd be pretty rough.
Yeah, I think.
Let me ask you a question. Both of you can answer this. If O'Neal Cruz finishes with 22 home runs and 45 steals, but his batting average stays roughly around 230, with that 32%, 33%-ish strikeout rate, where are we looking to take him next year?
He'll probably go earlier than I'm willing to take him. I would say that I would be happy with him like back of the second round, something like that. And I feel like he's going to go, and I feel like he's going to go earlier. Okay. Would you rather have Pete Crow Armstrong or O'Neal Cruz? Because they're doing the same thing, except for he's hitting 270 right now, and O'Neal Cruz is hitting 230. But I think if they both settled in around 240, would it really shock anybody?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, because we know Cruz has injury history behind him, and he doesn't, and Pete Armstrong doesn't play for the Pirates.
And as I say, part of it is the fact that he gets to play for the Cubs, right? We're talking about how they score all these runs, and O'Neal Cruz plays for the Pirates, and because of that, the counting stats don't come with him. So I might give it to Pete Crow Armstrong, but I don't think I think it's close, right?
It is close. I literally have pitched pretty bad pitchers against the Pirates, and I'm like, I need a streamer, and I'm like, yeah, oh, he's playing the Pirates. Let's go for it. And it usually
Pirates,
works out
Rangers,
pretty well.
Marlins, Rockies. Those are the 4 that I look at right now. Pirates, Rangers, Marlins, Rockies. Those are the 4 that I look
Oh yeah,
for.
yeah. Rockies, especially on the road. Oh man.
Oh yeah. How about the Miami Marlins being swept by the Colorado Rockies? Is that like the worst thing on planet Earth? Like,
dude, I saw a meme today. It was the Colorado Rockies celebrated with a trip to Chuck E. Cheese for winning their 10th game. That is so good.
that is ideal right there. So I believe we have lost AJ for the time being. Let's talk about Bobby Witt while he comes back, shall we?
AJ's frozen. Who's taking the screenshot of this one?
Do it. You got it.
Got it.
Boom.
Got it. AJ.
Bobby Witt.
Forever. Yep. All right.
Bobby Witt. So at the beginning of the year, it was the big 3, right? You either liked Aaron Judge, you liked Shohei Ohtani, you liked Bobby Witt. And if you took Bobby Witt ahead of him, no one was going to fault you. And we were talking beforehand. He's been good, but it feels like he's quite clearly third now, right? So we're at 32 runs scored, 7 home runs, 35 RBIs, 20 steals, and 287. That's good, but I think we expect that the runs scored are still on pace for roughly 100. The 7 home runs is disappointing. That would be 21 after having over 30 the past couple seasons. The RBIs, 35 RBIs at this point of the year. You're tracking to around 100, and 20 steals is actually on a better pace than we've seen from him last year. Last year he only had 31, so it's still a good year, but it just feels like it's been
especially since he was drafted like number 2,
behind,
3 in a lot of leagues.
It's just the fact that you had Aaron Judge, you had Shohei Ohtani, you had Bobby Witt, and those 2 are showing up on here constantly, right? And he's just been okay. It's good to see you again, AJ.
I will say the one category I said, watch out. He's not going to do what he did last year, and it's Ohtani and the steals. Now he's got you 11, but he's already. I think he's starting to throw again, so they're thinking about throwing him in that pitching rotation, especially with all the injuries they've got. Not that they really need it, but I really think people that were chasing that, that 35, 40 stolen base total number, I don't think you're getting there, man. I really just don't.
I want to give you a quick shout out to, right while we're doing this. My guy here said that don't bank the steals from Acuna. I believe he's been on first base 14 times, and he has yet to. He attempted a steal? I think I'm not even sure he attempted a steal yet.
I don't think he has either. I was looking; he's never been caught.
Okay, so then maybe he didn't even attempt the steal.
I thought he did against the Phillies, actually.
He hasn't. Well, he hasn't been caught, and he doesn't have a stolen base yet. So it was either like he went. Yep. It was either like he ran, and it was like a hit and run type of thing.
Sure. Or the guy behind him walked or something, but you nailed that one. You said I don't bank the steals, and through.
I mean, they said it. He said it. He's like, I'm something about like he's gonna play it safe, or they're gonna be cautious with him. I mean, they have to be. The dude's such an amazing hitter. Like what he's doing so far with, hitting 341 already coming off that injury. He's just crazy good, man.
Yeah. So real quick, hopefully the screenshot was me going like this.
Nope. Absolutely not. It was you going.
Nice. I don't know what happened. Like all 3 of my visions of us just started buffering, and then you came back, but I could still hear everything, but I just couldn't talk. I don't know. Anyway, to answer the question on O'Neill, I would.
Oh yeah, O'Neill.
I would potentially look at him, and I don't know what either of you guys said or what you said, Corey. If you answered it, I would probably still look at him like 4th, 5th.
4th, 5th. Whoa, yeah, you're not getting there.
I mean, the average is going to hurt.
Let me pull up some outfielders here.
You get a 25-40 guy. He's not going to the 4th round. There's no way. So
true. Oh,
Let's move over here to batting average and
losing the
finish up
shortstop
the
eligibility,
hitters.
though.
Yeah. Well, he won't have it next year. He's playing only outfield.
That's what I'm saying. He loses that.
Oh,
So
I thought you said
that the draw for that comes down. So, all right. So anyway, next up here we've got top 5 average. Shocker, Aaron Judge sitting here at 389. Freddie Freeman, also not necessarily surprising at 363. Well, 363 is kind of surprising, but him being in the top 5 is not. Jacob Wilson at 358. Ryan O'Hearn at 328. And Jose Ramirez at a cool 327. Small black Chevy engine. Corey, which one do you want to take?
Well, just shout out 389 quick. Like, Aaron Judge is amazing, but 389 is wow. But I will take Jacob Wilson, who I believe in the very first waiver wire of the year for the Fantasy Six Pack. You can check that out. I had Jacob Wilson on that list.
Pat yourself in the back there, huh?
I am. Hey, I'll take some too. I can take some too. I can take some too around here.
Nothing
so
wrong with a little humble brag.
He's good. He's really good. I don't know if he's going to hit what do we say right here? 358 good. But this is what a 300 hitter looks like. And the part that's been awesome is the other stuff is there. The counting stats are there. So the expected batting average is 307. He never strikes out. He hardly ever misses a pitch. He's an ideal, like, Luis Ariz level hitter, but he's chipped in 8 home runs and 5 stolen bases. Now, that comes with 6 barrels on the season. So it seems odd that he has that many home runs when he has 6 barrels and he has 8 home runs, but Suter Health Park, I've espoused my love for players playing there before as far as offensive players go and not pitchers. So that's part of it, but he's getting some of these on the road. I think he actually has more home runs on the road right now than he has at home. Let me just pull that up to make sure I'm right on that. At least he did when I last checked.
I would look up splits, but apparently whatever I'm looking at doesn't work right now, so I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, well, that's not good. I have it up here at home. He has 3 home runs, and on the road he has 4 home runs. So that is not any different. So, hey, just keep riding it while it lasts. The 5 steals are there. It'll probably come down a little bit, but this is at this point he's already banked that average, so maybe it comes down some, but he ends with something like a 330 average and a 12 home runs and 12 steals. Hey, that's a top. He's gonna finish as a top 12 shortstop if he does that. I don't know if I would draft him there next year, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, probably
I don't know if I could. I'd have a hard time drafting him in the top 12.
Yeah, just because shortstop's such a good position. Like, if he plays second base, I'd take him there all day. But at shortstop, he's probably not a top 12 shortstop next season. But I do think if he finishes what I think he can finish, he will finish in the top 12 this season.
Yeah. So I'll mention I'll get to Ryan O'Hearn here in a second, but it is so good to see Freddie Freeman have a little bit of a bounce back from kind of everybody was like, oh man, the age is catching up to him. I mean, I was kind of one of them. Hitting 282 last year. Like, not that that's bad, but you're used to seeing him well above 300, right? And now he's right back and making up for last year. I don't know if he'll keep it up. He's got a crazy 420 BABIP right now. So that's probably going to come down a little bit, but great to see him kind of, making up for last year. But Ryan O'Hearn, he's always been a pretty solid hitter, never quite this good. Also, part-time-ish player for a lot of it too. Swaps around with DH and a little bit of first here and there, but lately he's been playing every day. In fact, if you look at the roster resource page over there on Fangraphs, they no longer have the little red or blue highlighted thing for him. In fact, I guess it would be red because he's a lefty. They no longer have that there because they've just solidified him in that 4 spot. And I'll tell you what, the Orioles have woken up. They're not quite all the way back, but they are looking a hell of a lot better. They just swept the Mariners. I believe they've won, I want to say 6 out of their last 10, if not better. So it is definitely trending in the right direction.
I took them off my streaming list. They were on my streaming list too. they are off it
Yeah,
now. So.
no, the offense has definitely woken up. That is for sure. So great to see. It's not quite as embarrassing to be an O's fan right now. That they're still pretty bad. But yeah, Ryder Hearn, man, I'd be surprised if he finishes in the top 5. I'll be honest with you. Like, I do think there's some regression coming for him. His BABIP is at a career high, 360. He's walking a lot. His home run to fly ball ratio is pretty high for him. It's at 20. Next highest outside of his rookie year when he only played 44 games is 16%. So we'll see what happens, but I don't know if we're going to get a 328 batting average the rest of the way, but he's going to be a damn fine player. If this offense can stay rolling. They've won 6 in a row. So there we go. 8-2 in the last 10.
And 9 out of the last 13 across 4 series with Red Sox at Boston, home against Cardinals and White Sox, and then at
I mean, it wasn't the greatest teams on the planet, but hey, those are the teams you got to beat, right?
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I will
the best
definitely
part
take
about
it.
It used to be, hey, you're up against the Orioles, you should beat this team, and now they're kind of flipping the script a little bit here. But yeah, I love O'Hearn and what he's doing right now. I mean, I'll take the 328 all day, but I don't know if that's gonna stick either. I mean.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him hover around 300, plus or minus. But he's got to continue to be in the lineup, which it looks like they've decided to do. And
as it should. And they finally got all these young guys up all at the same time. Like, just do it, man. Just see what happens.
Yeah.
Stop messing with these dudes. Call them up and just play them. And it seems to be kind of working for them.
Yeah.
Stop messing around. That's what I kept saying, man. Stop messing around with these guys. Stop calling them up and be like, no, today you can sit on the bench. Like, why?
We talk about just quickly shout out. You talked about just a really solid player. The last player on the average list there is Jose Ramirez, who, while he has not shown up on this list at all other than that spot, just aging like fine wine. Like, this dude is so good at third base, the position it's another tough position. It's not second quite bad, but it is a tough spot to fill. And another season, like, we're on pace he's at 38 runs, so you're on pace for over 100 there. 11 home runs, that's pacing for over 30, 29 RBIs, like 90-ish, 16 steals again. You're going to break, like, you're getting around 40 with a 320 average. It is just rock solid, all 5 categories, and it has been for half a decade, and you can still get him at the back of the first round. It's wild how good he is.
If not more, man. I mean, like, back in 2017, he had 107 runs, a 318 batting average, hit 29 bombs. It's been pretty much a decade. So it's been awesome.
He keeps it going.
All right, Corey, let's move over here to our first pitching category.
Pitching, everybody's favorite pitching category. We are going with the traditional 5x5 categories here. So the traditional category is wins. There are 2 starting pitchers that have 8 wins. This was before today, so somebody got a win today. I know Brett Max Fried is pitching right now, but Hunter Brown has 8 and Carlos Rodon has 8. So 2 Yankees at the top of the list, followed by 3 pitchers with 7. Max Fried, who I just talked about, another Yankee. Excuse me. I don't know why I said 2 Yankees at the top of the list, as Hunter Brown plays for the Astros. But Max Fried has 7 and is playing for the Yankees. And Robbie Ray has 7, and Brandon Pfaadt, who LOL is on this list, also has 7. And you could make the case that Brandon Pfaadt should be cut. So who we got? AJ, I believe you are first here to talk about somebody.
I mean, I don't know if I'm necessarily surprised by the top 4. I mean, we know what Ray's done in the past. It's been a few years, so it is kind of nice to see him bouncing back finally. Take notes, Giolito.
What?
I mean, Giolito sucks. That's why. I'll talk about Rodon, actually, because I mean, I feel like I poo-pooed him earlier in our off-season shows at some point. I was not very high on him coming into the season. looking at what he did last year, 16-9. Okay, not bad. Just under 3 walks per 9 last year, but he was giving up, over 1.5 homers per 9. So I just, I don't know. Something was off with him. It seemed like to me. It was obviously his best year as a Yankee in the 3 that he's had, but it looks like this year he could easily surpass that. His K per 9 is back up over 11. His walks are still about the same, but his home runs is back under 1. His BABIP is all the way down at 220. So maybe that comes back up. I feel like that should be coming back up. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I didn't like him coming into the season, and he's proven me wrong a little bit. So
yeah, I was also a little down on Yordan, and he's proven me wrong.
I was too.
Joe, you got anybody?
So I'll rifle through a couple here. Brandon Pfaadt is definitely the outlier here, just playing on a good team. Very lucky to have a very, very good offense. He has been destroyed a few times, and this last outing is a huge reason why his ERA is up over 5. I believe it was right around. If you get rid of this last one, I'm guessing it was probably around. It might have been around 4. But 8 runs in 0 innings pitched. He did not
He also pitched.
Did not redshirt out. Did he?
He also pitched today and gave up 5, earned it another 3. So it's actually at 551 now. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But so yeah, still, he's a guy that I don't know if he's cuttable. It's so weird to cut a guy who's got 7 wins, but yeah, I mean he's destroying your ratios. I want to mention Hunter Brown, and Corey, man, you patted yourself on the back. He was my you're always gonna find that guy kind of slipping in drafts. Like I kind of called him this year's. We just mentioned him, Cole Reagans. I called him this year's Cole Reagans because people liked Cole Reagans last year and they were trying to go get him a little bit earlier, and he kind of kept creeping up drafts, right? But Hunter Brown was still a value, in my opinion, in drafts this year, and I was grabbing him everywhere I could, and it's looking really good. And it's amazing, like his ERA is what, 1.83. I want to say he had one pretty bad game. He let up 5 earned runs in 5 innings. So not terrible, but you make that 2-3 runs. We're talking a 1.3 ERA. He would be incredible. It's already incredible. There's even more. But he's been nothing short of amazing this season, and everything I kind of thought he could be. So I'm loving it.
Yeah, he's only got the 2 games over 2 earned runs. And most of the games are 0. So
granted, one was against the White Sox, of all games, right?
Yeah.
And then the Tampa Bay Rays. Seriously? He's been crushing everybody else.
Plays down to his competition.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Robbie Ray here, who looks like pretty much a stud again. He looks fully back and healthy, and you ride it until he gets injured again. But he is doing Robbie Ray things, but the walks are down again to the year. Did he win a Cy Young? I think he won the Cy Young, right? That 1 year with Toronto when he was last able to limit the walks.
Yeah.
And this is kind of that same approach again, where if he can keep the walks down, it's an ace quality arm, and just got to stay healthy in there. So hey, if you drafted Robbie Ray late, coming off the injury, just reap the benefits because it looks really good again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick shout out. Merrill Kelly sitting there, by the way, tied for 6th with 6 wins. Another Diamondback just reaping. Now he's looking a lot better in the ERA category, but still, that's why Wiz are stupid, man. You just go after players on good teams. It's whatever. So let's move over here to saves, and this list is nothing like we drafted it. So we've got Robert Suarez with 19. I mean, he was up there. Carlos Estevez, who some people weren't even sure he was actually going to be the closer. with 17. Kyle Finnegan, who signed a week before spring training, with 17. Andres Munoz with 17. And then, here we go, Josh Hader with 16. So there we finally got one, right? No Diaz, no Helsley, no Clase, no Mason Miller. They're all kind of hanging around in the top 10, top 12, but yeah, not the list we thought we would. So, AJ, I'll let you take this one.
I'll take a couple of them if I can. I will start with Carlos Estevez, former rental for the Phillies, turned Kansas City Royal. This is more of just a rant because he blew the save today. In the first game. And not only is that the worst part, but I had Cameron starting.
Already on the board.
Oh, good. Thank you. Cameron starting, killing it, not letting up any runs, barely getting people on base. And then I had also picked up some reliever, Clark, because it was a doubleheader and I could throw him in a starter spot. So I did. Well, lo and behold, Clark lets up 2 runs off a 2-run homer and gives up the win. So that's why I gave the thumbs down for wins earlier. Between Cameron and Skeens, I can't catch a break getting these stupid wins. I need to convince my league to switch to quality starts next year.
And even quality starts isn't good because pitchers barely go 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to go to Fantrax, and you got to use quality appearance.
Cameron was cruising through 6 innings. He had 82 pitches, and they pulled him in the 7th. Like, why? What are you doing? So yeah, so that was annoying. But yeah, Estevez blew the save after they went into extra innings, so that was kind of funny to see. But Munoz, I kind of expected him on here. Another guy that I have on my team, but it's like it's too few, and it seems like he's not getting saves because Seattle's not winning enough games, or when they're winning, it seems like they're blowing teams out. Obviously, they've got 17 games where he was in there for a save, so it's nice. But between him and Mason Miller, my relief pitching crew is just not exciting. I don't know if anybody has an exciting relief pitching crew.
But he's not living up to.
He's been getting hit lately, though.
Yeah, his ERA is ballooned. He got crushed a couple of times.
Yeah.
His strikeouts were still amazing. He's almost a 7 Ks per 9. It's just unbelievable. But yeah,
he only has 1 game without a K, and that was today. So he's been. I'm happy I have him, but he's given up a handful of negatives here lately. But all right, Corey, anybody you want to pick up the slack on?
Let's see here. Of that list, Hader and Munoz are the best 2, but I'll talk about Kyle Finnegan. Joe mentioned it. The late signing, Kyle Finnegan. I remember I had a keeper deadline where I was desperate for saves, and I had to just make a choice, and I let him go, and he signed like 3 days later. That was awesome. And he's no longer on my team, and now here we are getting, what are we at? 17 saves. All he does is get saves, but this is actually a better looking version of Kyle Finnegan, because last year the ERA was 3.68, but the FIPS are routinely quite a bit higher than that because he walks too many batters and he gives up home runs. Well, the walks are still there, but he's not giving up a home run yet this year. So if you have a 0% home run rate, that is good for keeping you and winning saving games.
Juarez, Estevez, and Finnegan all sitting with a 0% home run rate.
Yep. If you don't give up home runs, that's how you get saves like this. Now I expect that Finnegan will give up a few more. I did not pull up the fly ball percentage to see if that's really changed. It's a little bit lower, but not enough that I would think he's not going to give up any home runs. But that's why he's pitching like this. And that is probably, Munoz is pretty locked in Seattle. Hader's obviously locked in Houston, but there's nobody coming for Kyle Finnegan's closing role. Like if he blew 3 in a row, he would still get the 4th save in Washington. Whereas if Uncle Ted has in the comments here, if Suarez started blowing some saves in San Diego. Jeremiah Estrada's really good. Jason Adams, awesome. They have tons of good options in San Diego's bullpen, so he has to keep it going there. But and like Estevez in Kansas City, if he starts to blow saves, Lucas Erceg has been good. So they have options to go to, but Finnegan's going to keep getting all the saves for Washington, barring him getting traded to someone else. So keep taking advantage of it.
Yeah, and he's his lone loss and blown save against Philly. So had to throw that little nugget in there. But no, I do like Finnegan this year. I wouldn't mind if the Phillies went after him to try to trade. Sorry, he has 2 blown saves, but the one was his only loss is the Philly.
You really think the Nats are going to trade Finnegan to the Phillies? Yeah, no chance.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean,
okay.
But he's like the prototypical closer for fantasy because the team isn't that good, so you don't expect them to really go into a big blowout situation in a lot of games. So he's going to get the chances. Like Corey said, there's no one behind him to get him. So yeah, he's a solid one too.
The only downside with him is the K rate isn't quite there with some of the other elite closers. But hey, when you just need the counting stats and saves, you're loving it. So,
all right, AJ, I had a question for you quick. I had a question for AJ quick. What if they traded Mick Abel for Ryan Helsley? How are we feeling about that one?
Isn't Helsley only?
I think he's a rental. I'm pretty sure he's a rental. I think he's up after the season.
I would not do that.
Okay.
Mick Abel, another one who pitched great yesterday, didn't get the win. Thanks. Paul Skeens, every freaking game goes out.
At least Skeens is starting to go deeper into games. He wasn't like capped at like 5 for so many games in a row. It felt like.
Yeah, that was annoying. So, all right. So speaking of Finnegan and his K rate, let's get into the top 5 Ks here. Got Mackenzie Gore, his teammate, sitting at 108. Garrett Crochet at 101. Tarek Skubal at 99. Rodon again on the list with 98. And Chris Sale at 96. Joe, who you think is a surprise here?
I don't really see. I mean, Gore obviously is somebody who kind of screams out as a surprise, but I mean, after the start he had, I'm not really shocked totally. I'm gonna mention Garrett Crochet because he was a guy who I didn't really believe in the strikeout rate being where it was last season, and it's not, but it's not far off. It's still like elite level stuff. He is absolutely dealing. Now, I am worried about him going a full season at this rate still. 146 innings is his highest, so he gets up to 170-ish, which is still damn good, but I'm just not really sure. Maybe there's some fatigue at some point with him. Because he was just barreling it in, 4 innings a game at the end of the season last year. The White Sox were like, just pitch as hard as you can. So it's slight concern for me him going forward, but you're not trading him for anything but top end talent still. So that's pretty much it. The rest of the list is pretty much what you would expect.
Yeah, Corey.
I'll piggyback quick on Garrett Crochet. The thing that's shocking to me about Garrett Crochet is how many pitches they're letting him throw in these games. 112, 108, 103, 106, 110. Like, that is wild for the guy who just gave a huge contract to, who has health injuries or health issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Gore.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Mackenzie Gore, I'll just he looks like an ace, a complete stud right now. His BABIP is actually 341 against, and yet he has a 287 ERA. So all the other stuff is actually lower. It should be closer to 250 by the indicators because now what are we at? 35% K rate is wildly good. That is reliever stuff, and it looks repeatable. The other night I was watching, they were taking on the Cubs. In the first inning, he looked bad. He loaded the bases, struck out 2. And after that, just dialed in, did not give up. I don't think anybody even got to second base on him. So as far as I'm concerned, Mackenzie Gore is a top 20 starting pitcher at this point going forward. He wasn't valued like that, but I'd Like I'd take Mackenzie Gore right now over players that we definitely valued higher than him at this point. And so like Brian Boone and Framber Valdez, I'll take Mackenzie Gore over them the way he's pitching.
Talk about a like a forgotten player, man. He came out and he was
so young,
top prospect for a while,
hyped.
and now just and everybody was like, he sucks this year.
Think of that once, not to derail us quick here. That Juan Soto trade, right? Mackenzie Gore, James Wood, CJ Abrams, Robert Hassel that they got back. Like that is how you reset your like Juan Soto's a once in a lifetime future Hall of Famer, but that is how you reset a team right there because you got some stars.
San Diego got him for what? A
season
and a half.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean his K rate
Soto wasn't even the best Soto with San Diego either. So
K rate's up over 3 points, like or over 3 points more than his consistent, just under 10s. So yeah, I'll take that all day too.
I will move us along here to the ERA category, and the ERA category is being led by Chris Bubik, who at the beginning last year was mostly a relief pitcher and now is a starter, and he looks great. So 143 ERA. Nathan Eovaldi at 156. Shocking. I know it's hard to believe he is now on the IL. It's hard to believe, but he is still a qualified pitcher with a 156 ERA. Kodai Senga 160. Hunter Brown on here again with a 183, and Max Fried on here again with a 190 going into today. So Joe went first last time, so we are back to AJ. Anybody that you would like to discuss for ERA?
I'll look at Senga here. Obviously coming in last year, we knew the whole thing with the ghost fork and blah, 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 blah. Or 2 years ago, whatever it was. Yeah. And
last year got hurt.
Yeah. Last year it was hurt. That's right. So, I mean, he was just under 3 in 23. But right now, I mean, his expected ERA is at 3.34. So nearly 2 full points above where he's at right now. His FIP is at 320. Now it's expected at 417. So I think there's going to be some regression for him. His K per 9 is way down though, at 856. So I don't know. It's just surprising to me. I mean, his left on base is at 86%. So that might have something to do with it too. But he's not. Guys are getting on base, but he's not striking anybody out. So something's got to give here with the ERA. A super low home run to fly ball too, but under 5%.
Funny enough, you mentioned the K per 9. You would expect a lot of these guys at the top of the ERA, right? Well over 9 Ks per 9, maybe at the 10 area. 9.44, 9.48, 8.56. Then you got Hunter Brown at 10.2, Max Fried at 8.4, Garrett Crochet at 11, Tyler Mahle at 6.69, Skeens at 9.18, which is low for him, right? Then an 8, then an 11, then another 8, 10, 9, 8. Like a lot of single digits for like these guys who it's almost like we're figuring out we don't need to just let them hit the contact, get the ground ball, get them out, be done with it. Like you don't have to strike out 15 per game to be a good pitcher anymore. It is interesting to see how that's kind of changing. I mean, strikeouts are still way up compared to where they were years and years and years ago. But I feel like you're not seeing those Ks per 9 just being ballooned by all the top end pitchers. In fact, a lot of these guys that are just pumping fastballs trying to get the strikeouts are getting hammered. That's what's happening to a lot of the relievers. Mason Miller, perfect example. He's just trying to throw it by you at 102 miles an hour, and if he misses, man, it's gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I honestly don't really have it. I mean, Bubik is one that, I mean, obviously, with all of these guys, like nobody expects a below 2 ERA the rest of the way, right? I mean, like it's just kind of unreal. But Bubik's been great. His K rate is down from last year when he had a 2.67. but he's been nothing but short of just amazing. His left on base percentage is 86%, so yeah, a little high. BABIP is 266, so that's not like abnormal. Just a good solid pitcher. Getting a lot of ground balls. Not allowing basically any home runs, 0.36 home runs per 9. So there you go there. His expected is only 2.8. So if, regression is still pretty damn good for him. So I could see him finishing in the top 5 of the ERA pretty easily here.
Yeah, I think that's possible. And for a guy you probably drafted in like the reserve rounds, like Chris Bubich was a reserve round pick. The rest of these guys, say what you want, like I would assume Eovaldi was the latest. That was probably a top 35, 40 starting pitcher, and Chris Bubich might have been a top 70 starting pitcher, and he looks fantastic. So another one, just ride him while you got him.
He was a reliever last year, so nobody expected this.
For the Royals.
Yeah. So, all right, over here, finishing things up here with the whip leaders. Tyreek Skubal, 0.79. These are some amazing numbers, by the way. 0.79. Eovaldi, as we mentioned earlier, 0.81. Rasmussen with 0.87. Paul Skeens, there we go, mustache on the list finally here with 0.88. And Joe Ryan, good first name, man, 0.9. Corey.
2 first names.
Let's see here. It's got to be Drew Rasmussen, who looks – so they never let him pitch. He pitches through the 6th inning because he is incredibly efficient. So, like a couple days ago, we got through 5 innings, struck out 8, gave up 1 hit, and he threw 79 pitches. The games before that, 3 straight 60 or 6 inning starts, and his most pitches was 81 pitches. They do not let him throw much, and that's because he's had at least 2 Tommy John surgeries, if not 3. But if you're in any league that counts, like if you need quality starts or something, it's going to be tough. But if you need ratios, it's awesome. He doesn't walk anyone. He has 13 walks in 63 innings. He gets enough strikeouts. It's not quite enough, but like that, it's not quite 1 per inning like you want. But 56 and 63 for a guy who's given up 15 total earned runs this season, sure, all day. If you drafted Drew Rasmussen late, you're getting great ratios. You're getting enough strikeouts. The Rays are playing a lot better baseball too. They're another team. I think they've won 12 or 13 out of their last 15 games. So you're probably going to get some wins out of him if he's going to give you at least 5 innings. Yeah, Rasmussen looks really good right now.
Yeah, he was definitely surprising one for me to see on this list. Top 2 and Skeens, not really at all. Joe Ryan, though, like I said, Mr. 2 first names here is a 0.9 whip. I mean, that's awesome. But I just
0.99 last year, so it's not like it's too shocking. He's amazing.
Yeah,
his thing is always the blow up game. That's what gets you with Joe Ryan. Is he will be rolling for a month and a half, and then you'll get a 1 1/3 innings and 8 earned because he gave up 3 home runs. That is what gets you with Joe Ryan, is the blow up game.
He pretty damn not too bad, but I mean 6 and 5 innings against Atlanta about a month and a change ago. But that was a game where I was like, that was before Acuna and Atlanta was looking like garbage, and I was like, I'll roll him out there. And then, damn, I was like, what the hell? Then he comes back against the Angels, strikes out 11 and 7 and 0 runs, and you're like, all right, that's the guy I expected out there. But yeah.
He's got
pretty hard against the Athletics 3 days ago.
His K per 9 has been pretty consistent. A little over 10, a little over 9, almost 11, just under 10, and he's at 10 here this year too. I guess I don't know. I guess with him being in 0.99 last year, I didn't really realize that was where he was sitting. He's been pretty consistent with whip.
He sort of gets undervalued, man. I was able to grab him in a pretty nice. I don't remember exactly where, but like I felt like when he would come up on draft boards, I'm like, damn, he's still sitting there. Yeah, I'll take some Joe Ryan.
Yeah, I mean his innings pitched is kind of a downside. Last year he only had 135, so there was some injury issues there last year, I believe. But he obviously missed some time based on that. So maybe it could have crept back up over 1 to get closer to his career stuff here, the 2 previous years. But yeah, I don't know. I do fear those blow up games from him. So
yeah, absolutely.
Can we talk about
All
one
right.
person who doesn't show up on any of these lists, but I think would be in the top 10 of all of them quick, and that would be Zach Wheeler, who I think if we went to the top 8 would be in the top in all wins, ER, and both the ratios and strikeouts. 296 ERA, 6 wins, 94 strikeouts, and 76 innings with a .92 whip. Another one, just like the Jose Ramirez of pitchers, where he was like, oh, look at Paul Skeens. He's the new hotness. Let's take him above Zach Wheeler, who's been good for the better part of a decade. And Paul Skeens is good, but Zach Wheeler just does exactly the same thing every year and delivers top 10 SP numbers all the time.
So he is number 6 in wins, tied with a whole bunch of people. But shockingly enough, even with a 2.96 ERA, he's 25th in qualified ERA. That's wild.
That is wild.
I don't have the strikeout on here on my.
Well, Sale was at 96 and he was 5, and Wheeler's at 94. So it can't be too many people.
He's 6th. He's 6th.
So
Yeah, so there you go.
Almost was on here multiple times, and his .92 whip can't be too far. Is right behind Joe Ryan. So he was almost on here 3 times and he just missed it.
Yeah, he's 7th.
And he missed 2 starts this week for the birth of his kid coming this week.
Oh, shout out to Zach Wheeler's kid.
What? Yeah, exactly. Well, he's not even here yet. Well, I don't know if it's a he actually, but the child is not here yet, and they put him on the list on Wednesday. So he missed his start Tuesday, and then he would have had a 2-start week this week. So for those of you in weekly leagues who had him in your lineup, I know you're feeling it.
They suck.
Yeah, he was supposed to come back to pitch this weekend, but he was second in Cy Young last year, just behind Sale. It was that was the main matchup this year. Earlier in this year, they faced off, and they both looked like garbage. They both got beat up bad in that first game. But Sale definitely got the best of them.
Not that I want AJ to go on another rant, so please don't. But just remember when Aaron Nola was getting drafted in front of Wheeler? Those were funny days.
Yeah, Captain Consistency, and lost it this year.
But, I mean, that's it for the rolling through the top 5 category leaders for the 10 primary fantasy baseball categories. We're going to jump in here to some news and notes here, our little news roundup, so we called it. Start off here with just some headlines. Parker Meadows activated for Detroit. Andrew Vaughn, Logan Henderson, Chandler Simpson. A couple of odd ones on that list. And Vaughn's has not been terrible, but Henderson and Simpson were producing. They were demoted this week randomly. Yordan Alvarez, his injury update, by the way, not good. Not good, folks. His broken hand is healed 60%. Man, this is screaming.
Kyle Tucker. This
Kyle
is exactly
Tucker
what
from
this
last
is.
year.
Yeah.
But at least they gave us an update a little bit earlier.
This is the exact same thing, though, where they're like 2 months later, like, oh, yeah, Kyle Tucker actually broke his shin. It's not just a bruise. Like, no shit, Sherlock. You missed 2 months with a bruised shin. And now here we are. We're a month in, and it was, Yordan Alvarez, his hand is a little swollen. And now he's supposedly getting close to taking batting practice. And it's, we found a little hairline fracture. And they're like, who is your medical staff, Houston Astros? Do you have one? Like, what is going on here?
Hey, everybody.
Simpsons, nice shout out there. Brandon Woodruff, man.
I got this one.
Yeah.
So we are in the process of, I believe, the 3rd rehab assignment for Brandon Woodruff that he was out on. And I think we were probably in the last start for the 3rd time here, and he took a 108-mile-an-hour line drive off of his pitching elbow, and we are restarting again. So for the 4th different injury, I think we're at now. He is going to be still on the injured list, and the dude has got to be the unluckiest human being on the planet.
He's got to be nice and stretched out at least.
Yeah. 70 innings on a rehab assignment because he's done like 6 of them. Like, seems like it.
And then AJ, you're my favorite reliever ever. Craig Kimbrell called up. Have fun with that one.
I think he might get the save for the Braves. I think he's going to get the next save.
Oh no!
I'll say this: in the next 5 saves, Craig Kimbrell gets one for the Braves.
I don't doubt that.
Raziel Gillies has been awful.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Their bullpen is surprisingly worse than the Phillies. And
I love that you
the
had
fact that they've got to go back to Kimbrell.
Oh man, did we just get a mini rant from AJ here? Nah.
If they play Kimbrell's cards right, they will let him pitch a little bit, but they can only pitch him like once a week for him to actually stay healthy and good the rest of the season.
Yeah. Let's go through some IL injuries here. We got Alex Bregman. So some of these are a couple weeks old because we did not do a show last week. So we're just ripping through a few to keep everybody caught up. You probably aren't already if you're listening to the show. Bregman, quad injury, going to be out for quite a while. Jack Peterson, fractured hand. Michael King with a shoulder injury. I didn't even know if I realized this until Corey said it. He slept on it funny or something, so he just woke up kind of sore, but he's been out. He's probably going to be out for another couple of weeks, it sounds like. Like, just that's more than a sore. That's more than a slept funny shoulder. Like, I'm sorry.
AJ Smith-Shawver.
I had to take a second beat for that one. Tommy John surgery. Corbin Burns. I forget what the injury actually is.
I don't think they've said. They said he's going to get a second opinion with the guy who does all the Tommy Johns. So he went out and he was pitching, and he literally, you could read him lip the words, like, call to the trainer, like, yeah, my elbow is shot. I can't feel my elbow type of thing. And now he's getting his elbow looked at. So, like, cross your fingers in every one of them and say your prayers. But I would assume that we're probably not going to see Corbin Burns the rest of the season and part of big chunk of next year. So,
yeah. Yep. Ezekiel Tovar, shoulder injury. Eovaldi, as we already mentioned, tricep injury. Luke Weaver, injured his hamstring warming up.
Yep.
Awesome. And now he's out for what? I think they said at least a month?
I think a month to 6 weeks. Back to Devin Williams.
It's pretty awesome. So, I mean, hey, Corey, at least we got, a few saves out of him for what? $1? We got him a week. We got him a week early. Thankfully.
Good.
We just been in. Yeah, Mark Vientos, hamstring injury. Hunter Green, right groin strain. That's a shame, man. That dude's been dealing. Then Pablo Lopez, lat injury. I mean, we've got like 4 of these pitchers on our Earth League, man.
Like, damn it.
Did you see the GIF I sent back to you? Like,
I did.
Yes. Every pitcher we pick up, let's burn this place to the ground.
That's pretty much it. It's been rough.
This seems to be our luck, man.
Well, Green, I mean, this is the same groin that he already injured earlier this season. The Reds are like, you're fine. I guess they borrowed Dr. Nick from Houston and, let him come back out too early. And now he's injured again. So now they're going to play the slow game. And it's like, he was pitching awesome though this year.
Yeah, he was doing very, very well.
Pablo Lopez's sounds awful. Like, they're talking like 10 to 12 weeks for that. So if you're in that's droppable. Like
David Festa SZN.
Yeah, Festa. I like Festa. They called him up on like short rest, and he got absolutely lit up today. I don't know if that'll get better or not.
Problem is, man, they don't let him pitch deep into games either. When
they don't let anybody pitch deep into games up in Minnesota. They don't let their pitchers can be rolling. Yep, you're out. Other than Paddock the other day, who got to pitch 8 innings, none of them get to pitch deep into games. Vientos is droppable. I don't know if there's a job left for Mark Vientos when he comes back because Brett Beatty's looked pretty good over there. So I think Vientos is droppable.
There's an article dropping tomorrow, by the way, that mentions Beatty in it. Rich Sayer did a whole he went through StatCast leaders and things like that, and Beatty was one of those guys that's just hitting on just hitting red in certain categories and highlights him a lot. So make sure you check that one out.
And then it's been a while now, so people probably know, but like Corey is pouring one out for Alex Bregman, who's on him and Jordan Westberg were the foundation of many Corey's teams.
Oh no.
And not great. Not great.
Yeah.
Alex Bregman looked awesome. Like Alex Bregman was tracking towards MVP non-Aaron Judge division. Like Aaron Judge was going to win it. Alex Bregman looked as good as anybody not named Aaron Judge. And bad injury. That sounds like that's going to be a couple months. And so it sucks. But
and then jumping over here to the call-ups, they called up Marcelo Mayer, and he's not been so great.
Sucked so far.
Hasn't sucked, just not what you were hoping for. Denzel Clark is another call-up. Jack Caglione, your boy Mick Abel, up for the second time this season. Does that one stick this time, or does he go right back down?
He's supposed to stick around at least for one more start, possibly two. It depends on what Nola's situation is. Sounds like he's progressing slower than they had hoped, I guess. So yeah, Abel's going to be up for a few starts, and I mean he's looked really good. I'm hoping that they don't turn this into some sort of trade bait, situation for him. Could he? Easily he could be, but he's sitting at a .79 ERA, 0.71 WHIP, albeit 11 in the third innings, but he's looked good. 9 Ks in the first game against Pittsburgh, where he battled against. I think that was against Skeens. Outdueled him, got the win, and then only 2 Ks yesterday. So
he had one yesterday though, man. Like the one of his 2 yesterday, like painted the inside corner. The batter literally just looks at it, and just goes shit, and just walks away. Like damn.
Yeah.
Like I missed that one. So Ronnie Mauricio. I don't know what the hell I was trying to say. Up as well, and Kyle Teal. Corey, anybody here?
Well, if you're going to rank up for players you should pick up, go make sure Jack Aglione's not on any waiver wire. He shouldn't be. He is a power hitting monster who, like another one, Kansas City stuff to hit the ball out of. He will hit the ball out. I think he had his first hit today in the first game of the doubleheader and maybe got an RBI on that. But like the first day, the very first ball he hit was like a warning track missile that got caught by Victor Scott. So Jack Aglione should be up. They've played him. I know he DH'd. I think he played first today. They will find a way to get his bat in the lineup. That's the one. Instantly make sure he's owned. Then if I had to rank it, it would probably be Mick Abel as long as he's up. I don't know what to make of Marcelo Mayer. It's it's a high floor player, but if he doesn't hit, they're not going to keep. They have so many options. They're not going to keep playing him. So that's where we're at here. Kyle Teal is a catcher. That was part of the Garrett Crochet return. It was him and Chase Mydroth and Braden Montgomery. So we've seen Mydroth. He's been pretty good. I remember AJ talks about him. I've talked about him. He's good. Kyle Teal is like, I called him, a friend was texting me today, asked him what I thought of him. I called him Kmart Will Smith. Like, I think it's a safe, like high upside, or not high upside, like high floor player who's probably going to hit like 270-ish if he gets the playing time. Maybe hits, not from this point of the season, but if he had a full season, like 10 home runs, something like that, and get some counting stats. But that's the White Sox lineup. So what does that mean for counting stats? And Denzel Clark is this super tooled up, unbelievably jacked guy who strikes out too much, but he plays in Oakland, so you never know. And Ronnie Mauricio, he missed most of last season with an Achilles injury. That's part of the reason when Vientos got hurt, he's who they called up, and that's when they just shifted Beatty over. They also have Luis Angel Acuna, who plays the middle infield there in New York. So I want to see how all the Lindor came out today and said he has a partially fractured toe that he's going to try to play through. Like, if he does that, that's fine. But otherwise, just put him on the injury list. Acuna can actually shift to short, and then you could get Mauricio some playing time. Otherwise, you have to see if the playing time is there, because Mauricio might not play every day if he's platooning with Luis Angel Acuna for second base, because there's just not enough. Like, you're not taking Lindor out of the lineup. You're not taking Pete Alonso out of the lineup. There's too many good players on the Mets lineups for him to consistently get playing time.
Yeah, I want to add something real quick to Mayer, and he's already sat against two lefties, 2 games in a row this week, Monday and Tuesday. So that's not a good sign.
Wow.
I will say they are batting in 5th for what it's worth when he is in there, but it's hard to roster a part-time player like that.
Yeah, Caglioni. I was gonna say he DH'd in the first game, and then he was in right field for both games today. So
yeah, that's the most logical spot because Vinny P's at first, right, and Salvador Perez DHs, and then right field
first.
I would assume our guy Joe. Back to our team here to talk for a second. I would assume that means we're probably gonna have to drop Drew Waters because I take it Drew Waters was not in either of the lineups today.
He was in left field for one of the games today, but he sat the second game.
Yep. So
against the lefty. So when it's a lefty, it seems like Waters has been out 2 of the last 5. I haven't been keeping track of that, but it's tough, man. That's such a deep league, man. I don't know who we would replace him with. Like his batting average is keeping us afloat, which is not a good category for us. So might just have to hold him in there. But yeah, we're gonna have to keep an eye on that one and see if Caglione starts taking his reps out there in the outfield. But
yep.
It's always interesting.
So the last point I will make, Jesus Luzardo, who had 16 earned runs coming into 2 starts ago, 5-0 record, I think, or maybe 6-0 record. Yeah, he's given up 20 earned runs in his last 2 starts. It's something to watch.
As a Brewers fan, I was personally shocked as they are god awful against left-handed pitchers. So when they went on against them, I was fully expecting like some dominance. And then I looked at I was actually not watching that game. I was looking at my phone. I was like, wait, is my phone bugged? Like, is it working correctly? Like, are they actually scoring runs at this pace against him? So it's been rough.
21 hits, 12 hits in 3 1/3, 12 earned, 3 walks, only 4 Ks, 2 homers. And then today he only went 2 1/3, 9 hits, 8 earned, 2 walks, 2 Ks, 1 home run. That's not good. Not good at all.
I had to go to the banner twice now today, man. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks
well, we didn't have a show last week.
Just a quick Luzardo Fott shout out here. I put this in the Fantasy Six Pack Discord, so join the Fantasy Six Pack. Joe already gave you all the notes, but that first Luzardo blow up was the same day that Fott didn't get anyone out, and Will Warren got lit up by the Dodgers. 4 2/3 innings. I put this 52.07 ERA, 664 WHIP if you started all 3 of them, and
I
someone
believe,
somewhere did it.
So I believe I started Warren against you in our league, and I had 3 pitchers in a row just get lit up over the weekend. I was winning in ERA and WHIP. After a day and a half, I was like, I had no shot of catching up. And I was just like, well, whatever. And then I got smashed by Corey. Like I lost 7-3 or maybe 7-2 to 1. It was bad.
Yeah.
Like I had like the worst possible weekend in a head-to-head league against Corey. I'm like, what the hell happened?
It's the intimidation factor.
Yeah,
sure.
Luzardo's points in my league is -49 across those 2 games. So,
man,
that's rough.
Bad. All right, so that's it for the show this week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We made up and then some on the show last week, of course, like we always do. But yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the like button. Go become an all-access member to fantasy6pack.net. Use promo code F6P MLB25, save 15%. And tune in next week when we will be actually closing out our baseball episodes for the year. Maybe Corey and I will do some stuff on the side. We'll see what happens. But for these shows, we will be transitioning to football in 2 weeks. So tune in next week when we have some fun talking some more baseball. And with that, we are sort of out. I got something didn't set the outro video on me. Thank you. All right, now we are out.